Okay, good. I don't see more people that I don't want to, I appreciate that. I don't just mess you up somewhere. If I have this, and then I'll put it in a packet, and if you have anything to do with anything else. All right.
Cummings here.
Austin Poole here. Charles here. Griffin here.
Thomas here.
Wait here.
And Jean, unfortunately, is not here, in case everybody didn't know, her mother passed away. So, yeah. Our condolences to her. Meeting minutes approval of September 15th. Are there any additions or corrections?
Austin Poole, make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of September 15th, 2022.
Cummings will second. Motion by Austin Cool, second by Cummings to approve the meeting minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Citizen input. I don't see anyone, so we are moving on. Old business. Non-meeting summary since last council. We got a bunch on here. CD8, Austin.
No big updates. We just talked about the possibility of creating TIP 5 overlay district. Everett is going to go get some more information on that and fill us in on the next meeting. Besides that, there was a new possible renter for upstairs, the Montshon Business Center.
Really?
Yep, I believe
Not
Charlie
public
gave
yet?
an update on that, so nothing to
Nothing yet?
nothing
Okay.
to get on that. But other than that, pretty simple meeting.
Perfect. All right. Special finance meetings. So there's a couple finance on here, Tim.
The special finance meetings have all been dealing with working on the 2023 budget.
You got it. Fire and EMS. Wes hasn't been here in a while. Is there anything you want to speak on fire or EMS at all?
No, there wasn't anything that hasn't been
Significant.
new. No.
Okay, thank you. Planning Commission, that is actually below on 6A, which we'll be talking about here in a few minutes. We have started to gather some information, start working on some ordinances, doing some cleanup, trying to get things both physically on paper cleaned up and in town. So lots going on there. Library board.
Yes, so October 29th, the library will be closed due to staffing shortages. Also discussed a staff door replacement and getting the furnace replacement and working on the new carpet, so that is not done quite yet. And then the parking lot update, the city employees looked at the parking lot, so they estimate about $220,000. So it is put out for bids as of right now. And then they had a guest speaker.
No.
Oh,
They're not out for bid.
just joking, they're not out for bid. Just joking.
I can elaborate on that comment.
Okay, I was like, just joking. It says it right here, put it out for bids.
No, it's going to Kunkel to get, because Kelly and I and Mitch discussed different, from what the plans were back in 2018, she wants some things changed. We discussed that. Mitch was gonna go to get the altercations done on the plans and then present them back to us.
Okay,
Yeah, generally you don't go out to bid until the following year.
so it will be a little while.
Yeah, we don't have the plans back yet
It'll be
either,
a little
so.
while, it'll be a year.
It's in process.
It's in process. They're gonna put it out there, but it hasn't happened yet. And then They had a guest speaker, Carol Kennedy, came in and spoke, so that was about it.
Oh, sounds busy, thank you. Parks, Rich.
Met on Wednesday night, basically went through all of the reports that were available, talked a bit about the budget, about reducing the budget with the elimination of the dog park during the construction of the sewer plant, but forwarded nothing to any committee.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Public health and safety, Tim?
The items are going to be coming up later on the agenda, just to do with squad purchase and a special event application.
You got it. And public works, Richard?
We just got done discussing the painting on Heron Court. We're not doing anything with that.
All right,
Kunkel Engineering authorized them to, which is coming tonight, to do engineering for Waterloo Road.
which is also below. Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, 6A, Planning Commission. Nick is here. So Planning Commission had a public hearing, which then went back to the Solarium Group to come back on kind of with a business plan. So then we had a letter. So we have a couple of different things going on. So the Planning Commission recommends changing from a C1 to a C2 for the uses that they are needing. So based on our ordinances, this is really the best ordinance that fits their relatively multi-use needs. So the big one is recreational and entertainment. So we asked them then to submit some information of what they want to do. So basically this Rayburn Consulting, page and a half here talks about what they want to do. Just the things that they want to do inside, weddings, concerts, shows, parties, reunions, etc. They also have an outdoor deck, sunroom obviously, and things may include music, etc. So everything's all in this letter. Planning Commission did not have a problem changing it over. We had 3 people attend the meeting. One was via a letter from the Riverwalk, which is the retirement or assisted living across the way there, the old Perry building lot. And Ron, he's across the street, and another neighbor, Roger Hellenbrand, which is right down the river from them, showed up. So their main concern was the noise. Everybody was very consistent on that. Ron's was concerned about the driveway exit onto Minnetonka regarding the headlights going out there. So they do have 3 entrances, but I believe one is really just a one-way, isn't it? The very first one that's closest to the river that comes around?
Correct, yeah, there's 2 on Madison and one's kind of
On
awkward.
Minnetonka.
Yeah, and then there's one on Minnetonka.
Look at the
Yeah,
sheet.
I think we have a drawing.
Yeah,
out there.
you use this sheet as the one in the package, that's correct.
Jean gave you a McKay Way, it was a
Yes,
test to see if
that's
anybody
what
pays
we
attention to the documents.
I did.
Please
Yes,
use the right one.
So we got a new one.
Saw
You have a
it.
new one on your desk. So that's the correct one to look at. So anyway, so discussion was with noise, mostly outside, you know, if there was any kind of activities out there. We do have a loud and unnecessary noise ordinance. So we discussed that we didn't think any noise or excuse me, music of any sort should be playing any later than 9. So that was a recommendation from the planning commission to you guys. And then one person wanted to see Minnetonka an entrance only and not an exit. So before you then are 2 things. One is the actual ordinance to change from commercial C1 to C2. And then the conditions that we put on it were Minnetonka Way and the music at 9. So Nick is here to discuss anything if you would like, or if you have any questions about what the planning commission had thought.
What's the height of the building?
The height of the building, I have no idea.
3 stories?
There's a basement, a main level, and then an upper level, so 2-story, basically, 2-story building.
We're just reading the ordinance, says building height maximum of 35 feet in C2.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's necessarily to build a new one. So, Chris and Jeannie actually worked on this. Because of the way what we have for ordinances, It didn't make sense for him to stay a C1 because really none of those uses or conditions matched with what he wants to do. So he's got some renters upstairs, correct? Or is nothing upstairs? Yes.
Correct, there are office uses, I think actually in the underground parking area, there's some, and then on the second floor, and so it would be a mix of that assembly use that we're looking for, and then keeping the office, some of that office use as well.
Right, and then some of it would be open for events, parties, and whatnot.
Correct.
Yeah. So the item 13 on C2, where it just says recreational and entertainment establishments. So when Chris was looking at all of these, he said this gives him the ability to inspect it. And there's different building codes and fire codes that have to go with it. I think the fire department, if I'm not mistaken, Wes had mentioned something about there was something not right there. Has that ever been addressed? I don't know if it has. It's just the fire department behind it. It was fire inspection.
So,
It depends on the assembly.
Okay.
So right now, we've been working with Chris, the building inspector, on doing a code review and assessment of the building. So we have an architect putting that together. It should be done soon. So once we have that completed, we'll know exactly what we need to do as far as adding entrances or exits, things like that. So we'll make those changes then to the building.
Occupancy.
Yep.
Perfect.
So we're approving it, but cutting it off at 9, so if they do have a
You would
reception there, no music after 9.
Outside, so
Outside.
let's
Oh,
just say
outside.
there's a
Inside, you
ceremony
mean.
outside,
Okay.
maybe some dinner.
I was like, what kind of
something like
wedding
that.
has to end at 9?
Yeah, no, it's just for the
Okay.
outside stuff.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Because they are in a residential area,
Yep.
even though it used to be a business, but.
So cut it off at 9 for
Yeah, things have
outside, but
changed.
inside can still continue.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any concern on the fire department side is with only having one egress in the
Yeah.
center there?
It would have to probably come up to code as far as the amount of occupancy they plan on putting in there.
You mean for the parking lot? Yeah, when you
Well,
mean by egress,
for
you
the,
mean
you have following conditions, Minnetonka Way is only entrance only. That's, could be an exit as well.
It isn't currently, yes.
Is that a double door on there, or is that just a single door?
You're talking the
From the
driveway?
driveway, the
You're talking
driveway.
about the driveways?
Just the driveways,
I meant they all could be exits. I meant,
depending on where they're having the assembly section. If the other parts are rented out.
Yeah, the ordinance that we're proposing here has that on, that Minnetonka Way is only entrance only.
Okay,
It was a suggestion,
is
so
that a-
it's not firm.
Is that a safety factor there?
probably, they'll probably have to turn into an exit also.
Well,
I
I was
would say
thinking,
as
if you've
well.
got semis or trucks or anything going into that dock, and then they have to weasel around, I just don't think it's practical either.
But the planning commission's recommendation was they didn't want the traffic and the lights going out on the residential street there. They wanted it exit only. That was their thought.
An exit or an entrance?
Entrance only, I'm sorry, entrance only.
But I'm not convinced that that's the right thing to do. But that's-
I personally have a safety concern with that. It's just, I understand the residential issues with headlights, I can see that, but also it's that one center exit that's in the middle of the block there has high sides on there. It's a visual impairment when you're trying to pull out of there, especially after the event or if something should happen,
People walking, yeah.
you know.
Well,
You get
and
one
the
emergency
Minnetonka's got
vehicle in there.
Three large poles.
What's that?
And the Minnetonka's got three large poles when you look east. That's very hard to see through that, too.
I just hate to see it more restrictive than,
Well, they're dumping out into residential area. They had some deals there. They come out, 11 o'clock, and the headlights shine through the neighbor's house, so his dog starts barking, and ours got to start barking, and the other neighbors have got to start barking, and pretty soon the whole neighborhood's up.
I understand that.
When they did it, they told me that it was just going to be a business. You're only going to be parking from 8 to 5, and you'll be going to work anyway, so it ain't going to bother anybody.
when they originally built it,
Yes.
Gary's office.
Oh, when they originally built it, that was the feeling that there wouldn't be
Right.
traffic in and out of there later
When I
on.
bought my house, there's a farmhouse in the corner, 2 more houses there.
That's right.
So are there any concerns with the music? Stopping at 9, everybody's fine with that? And Nick was fine with that too, he understood. And chances are it's not gonna be a band or anything like that outside, but maybe a door might be open and dinner music might be on the deck or something, but that's about it. So, then it's up to you how you wanna do it, if you wanna approve the change, if you wanna approve or deny the Minnetonka, and approve the music ending at 9. So you can make this motion any way you would like. Or if you have any more questions for Nick. Discussion?
I'm just thinking, and I'm agreeing with Charlie, because that one exit is right on a curve.
Correct. Yeah, the other one is really only an entrance. It's not, the way that's designed, you're not gonna have cars going in and out. You're gonna go close to the river.
The east one.
That's a horseshoe around there.
I know, but it's not really designed to have 2 cars going on it. So those cars that are in the picture, if you look at the picture, the cars will park facing the road. And if they're trying to back out and you've got cars coming right and left, I just see nothing but problems there after a wedding.
Yeah.
Or a party. I just,
I don't think we should take that away.
those were my concerns too. I understand the neighborhood thing, but people have lights in their neighborhood everywhere. So it's up to you.
Thomas will make a motion to approve the change from C1 to C2 with the condition 1, no outdoor music after 9 p.m.
And eliminate the other one.
That's correct.
Cummings will second.
Motion by Thomas, second by Cummings to approve the change to C2, and with one condition of outside music must end by 9 p.m. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you for coming in, Nick.
Thank you.
All right, finance, insurance, and personnel, we got a couple of things going on. So one of the items below under public works, we'll get to that, but I don't believe that window went to City Hall. I think that just came to finance.
Oh, I
Correct?
apologize.
And that's okay, that's all right.
It was on there and I didn't change it.
Yep,
after
that's
you-
all right. I had you change the agendas, but this one was already on. So Tim, we'll just take them the way they are, and we'll discuss the window when we get down to it then.
The first item is 2 Waterloo signs for a cost of $25,000 using undesignated surplus funds. The Waterloo signs will be on O, coming in from the south, and on Highway 89 coming in from the north. The signs would be the same design as the other 2 signs coming into Waterloo from Lake Mills and from Marshall.
Actually, 3 Portland.
Okay, Portland too, okay. It's the same design. The person that did those signs still has all the artwork, and the bid we received was
2487 for both of them, and that is installed. I think Chad just has to remove them, and they'll do the rest of the work.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we did this, where X amount of years ago was, we removed the existing signs. The company came in and erected the new ones, which, the one in South Monroe County though is,
Yeah.
it's tipped over 3 times, so I don't think it's gonna be too hard to get out.
Right.
And the one coming in from the north is in disrepair also. So this is truly our only opportunity, if there is a desire to replace those signs, is at this point in time. Using undesignated surplus is money that we have available, and was discussed at a committee. There was a vote of 2 to 1, and I'll, Rich, if you want to speak to your objection to the funding.
I can. My objection is that we are still imposing a wheel tax and chopping budgets, and I don't think this is a good expenditure of funds at this time. And there's also some concern from a park board member about the maintenance of these signs and who's going to take care of the extra effort to string trim and keep them up nicely. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Having said that, I'm going to make the motion to approve the purchase of the 2 Waterloo signs in the amount not to exceed $25,000 using undesignated surplus funding.
Austin, give me a second.
Motion by Thomas, second by Austin Poole to approve the purchase. So this Bush signs, just for a little quick background, the chamber are the ones that originally bought these back in 2012, and then as we all know, by 2019 and 2020, they were defunct. So we never replaced the rest of the signs. I've been dealing with this gentleman since February and finally got a call back from him. And like Tim said, they do have all the artwork. The signs are collapsing. Is it a necessity to have welcome signs? You could argue, no, it's not, and I appreciate Richard's comments. But there's also something to be said about keeping your city looking good and maintained. And right now, we have signs that are failing. Maureen had dropped off a letter, I think, Tim, you had a copy of that, and so did Chad. Unfortunately, her memory is not correct. She did not have $1,000 to put towards the signs, and they were supposed to remain care, so that is not what the email originally said from the chamber. So regardless, her $1,000 is, she can do what she wants with it. But this $24,000 is under the purchasing policy, and Richard, we did check with the attorney to make sure that this didn't fall under, what was it, public
Construction.
Public construction, correct. And then Chad's currently now taking care of the maintenance on the old signs as well as the new signs, so a sign's a sign. So, that's all I have to say about that. So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other questions? Roll call.
Cummings, yes.
Austin Cool, yes.
Charles Poole, yes.
Griffin, yes.
Thomas, yes.
Wait, no.
Motion carried. Thank you. Future fire department ambulance and cot order. Pretty pink on the table. Tim?
I am going to punt this to Mr. Bazzini, because he's the one that came before us. Basically what this is the fire department is replacing an ambulance in 2025. They are able to sign order documents allowing them to purchase at today's price, not having to expend the funds until they're actually taken. Order, by giving them consent to make the purchase now, they're able to save significant amount of money they're lacking in today's price versus having to pay the price in 2024 or 2025 when those items would actually be purchased. Did you wish to speak directly to what your savings is going to be on the items and what the costs are gonna be?
Unfortunately, we don't know what the exact savings are. All we're doing is we're locking into the price of construction materials and availability of things now. Unfortunately, the build time is about 2 years out, so that puts us on track for the 25 replacement that we earmarked it to be, I believe, in the budget. We don't have to pay anything up until then, and we should have enough in our apparatus replacement to cover that at that time. We did go through, on Tuesday, we went through with the salesman, everything to make sure that everything was correct, what we needed, what we had requested to be in the bid. And so the price did change a little bit, and we'll get that update. Jason actually just got it, at 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
He rushed it through to try to get it to us. We can get that number to you guys if you want us to come back to finance, so we can explain it a little bit better
And get the full spreadsheet.
full
Yeah, 'cause
everything,
you've been asking.
what had changed,
It'll
what
be
we had
nothing.
taken out, what we had
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah. the
And
full
explain
spreadsheet.
everything
Yeah.
during finance, and then we can bring it back to be able to sign and get this all certified, so it gets done in 25, and then we lock into that price.
So you are still asking tonight for us to give you permission to make the purchases of the cot, which is something that has to...
So the cot was a little bit different. So
Right.
we had to have it signed prior to October 1st because of that 9% increase. So yes, we do want the approval for the cot and the cot load system. So we can make sure, again, we don't have to pay for that until the end of '23. So,
And that was, with the cot and cot load, that was a 9% savings.
just on
Just
October
from
1st.
October 1st to past October 1st.
It should be noted that the finance committee gave them permission to make that purchase. Again, no money was expended. It won't be expended until 2024, 2025.
No,
23 for the cot.
the cot has to be purchased in December of '23, correct?
Okay. So I'll open it for questions. It's...
They did have multiple bids.
Yeah, we had 3
They
bids.
went through the various options between all of them. This one is into forest floor repairs, like
Correct.
Kunkel.
Yes.
Highly important question, because I know one person in this community is going to want to know, what color is it?
The same color that we have.
Fantastic. You know what I'm talking about. Fire mayor, very big on
So
color.
are you still asking us for permission to give you, or consent to make the purchase through ARV for the ambulance then?
So the ARV, we do have a little bit of time.
That I
So
understand.
what we're looking at is, we want to come to the next finance, so I can get everything, the specs, the changes, we can bring that all to you, and we can kind of, if there's any questions there, then we can review them, and then we can come to, I think,
We have another council meeting
Yes.
too. So, because I thought you said now we had till the end of October for that purchase.
yes.
Correct, yeah.
So that's when we have to sign for that.
Yeah.
So right now, with the proposal that we have, it's locked right now, but if we go over a certain time, then it starts all over again, and that 9% just went up.
Right.
So,
We don't want to rush through it, because anything after what we sign, it
Correct.
costs additional money. and
So
it's-
for tonight, we're just approving the cot.
Yes.
correct.
Okay. Cot only.
Thomas will make a motion to give the permission for the fire department to order the cot for the future ambulance and table the purchase of the future ambulance.
Charles Cool, second.
There we go. Motion by Tim, second by Charlie to approve the cot order, and we'll table the ambulance until the next meeting when we have the specs. Any other questions? We don't have a doubt, oh, absolutely.
Will that be at the regular finance meeting, not next week's finance meeting, correct?
Probably the regular one.
Regular, you
The
know.
regular one would be the,
2 weeks.
yeah,
2 weeks.
I do have the right one, 20.
20th.
You okay with the 20th?
November 20th?
Yeah.
Because we've got bills already after that.
Correct.
Thank you.
So the cot, do we need to know a dollar figure on
It's
this?
80,000, what's, we got a price on it. And I don't have that with-
I know we did, but I don't think we can stretch it, was it?
That's not in the package.
Do you remember the cot dollar figure?
52,000 and something I don't have right off the.
It's not the one that they quoted.
No,
right? It's
no,
not.
this is
Yeah.
strictly through Stryker.
Yep.
So that gave us a couple of discounts from actually going through the actual company also.
All right, so we're referring to just the cot order roughly 52,000, we've had those specs at finance. Roll call.
Cummings, yes.
Austin Cool, yes.
Charles Poole, yes.
Griffin, yes.
Thomas, yes.
Where, yes.
Motion carried. Public health and safety, Tim, spooktacular.
Steve Parker appeared before the committee to request approval of the special event permit for the spooktacular, which will occur on October 29th. He's requesting no parking on the south side of East and West Madison Street from Ridge to Bridge, and no parking on South Monroe Street from the Four Corners to the dead end. For the spooktacular event, the reason for the no parking is he has vendors coming for the event.
That are gonna be like in the street?
That'll be in the street, just like on Wiener Kraut there where they're on the street.
Nice.
And he will open up parking stalls that are not going to be, that there are no vendors to fill.
So you'll consolidate it?
He'll
make it
consolidate
Make
it.
sense, sure.
in the Four Corners.
Excellent.
And he'll also bring a list of events for the spooktacular, so you guys know like when everything opens, when it goes, because there's like a wrestling, there's a haunted house.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, so,
That's good, we get a lot of calls.
yeah, so he said he'll bring one over.
Thank you.
So this is the same or similar event that he held last year. I've heard of no complaints from the police department or anyone else, so Thomas will make a motion to approve the special event application for the Waterloo Business Association for their spectacular event on October 29th.
Cummings will second.
Motion by Thomas,
Yes.
second by Cummings to
Gotcha.
approve spooktacular event. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Tim, squad car bids, Bell Ford price quote.
The police department is requesting to purchase a 2023 Ford Police Interceptor from Bell Ford. They sent out a total of 10 requests for price quotes from area dealerships. Only 3 dealerships returned those quotes. Bell Ford was the low bidder in the amount of $42,286.88. Thomas will make a motion to approve the squad bid from Bell Ford for the purchase of the new squad.
Cummings will second.
Motion by Thomas, second by Cummings to approve the purchase of the Bell Ford vehicle. So are you trading this one in, or is this one going to become an old one, a city vehicle? Remember we've had this conversation?
This could be, they don't trade.
They never trade. We put them on auction or
We
something?
do them on
Yeah.
auction, and that's the one that we were discussing, keeping as a city vehicle.
All right. Any questions?
I use Bell Ford and their quality establishments are actually good. Just glad to see this.
Arlington?
Yep, glad to see them in there.
Fantastic. Thank you. Roll call.
Cummings, yes.
Austin Cool, yes.
Charles Poole, yes.
Griffin, yes.
Thomas, yes.
Laird, yes.
Motion carried. We're getting to the home stretch here. Public Works and Property. Well, this is actually a finance one. Purchase of new windows for City Hall. Were there 3 of them? How many windows?
There's 5.
There is 5. Okay, so I thought it was everything on that
Yep,
wall.
everything on the south side.
Correct, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So it is correct on there. 5 of them. Sharp, Gabe thought I was nuts when I said you're getting into the window. He's like, I didn't know it was getting. All right, I'm sorry, you can go now.
Okay, the windows on the south side of the building, the thermal panes have sprung a leak, the gas has escaped, and they're no longer doing their job. I've heard there are heaters in the office of the mayor and a couple other offices due to the windows not working properly in either air or heat seasons. There was a proposal from Prairie Glass in the amount of $10,193 for the replacement of the windows. The money would come from contingency. Thank you.
This is another one that took forever to get any quotes, and only 2 of them quoted
Yeah.
for windows. Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
Thomas will make a motion to approve the quote from Prairie Glass in the amount of $10,193.
Wire to a second.
Got that one in there. All right, motion by Thomas, second by Wyatt to approve Prairie Glass, replacing 5 windows. They can still do that this year, can't they?
I think so, yeah.
That's what I thought.
I'll get ahold of John.
Yeah, the other big
Monday.
company had a 22-week lead time. Yeah,
That's rough.
All right, roll call.
Cummings, yes?
Austin Cool, yes.
Charles Cole, yes.
Griffin, yes.
Thomas, yes.
Wired, yes.
Motion carried. All right, now this is Public Works. Heron Court curb painted, we have a lot of pictures in here. We were informed of this, that they put yellow paint up in front of these homes. Neighbors were having issues with people parking and backing out and all kinds of stuff. I had asked Chad to actually park his vehicle in one of the spots, which is why you see the red truck, because it's deceiving seeing it the other way, so it looks like that's a huge area. But once you put a vehicle there, you see how close you are to the driveway, and you're really right on top of that mailbox, which is why you have the mailbox statute in your packet as well. Right, on the tail and the front of it, yeah. So we've had issues with the neighborhood up there, and this wasn't anybody taking a side by any means, but it's the nature of the curve, it's the nature of the landscaping, and there just isn't a whole lot you can do. So it came to Public Works to get reviewed.
Earlier this evening, we discussed that at Public Works. There is a state statute that doesn't allow parking within 4 feet of a mailbox.
Correct.
If you look at the pictures, there's 2 mailboxes and driveway, which only leaves about 16 feet for parking stall, and a typical parking stall is a minimum of 18 feet. This causes a safety concern having a vehicle in there, in my opinion, and we took no action on it
And just left it be.
and left it be made.
So you would have had one letter from Nancy, who that's in front of her house where Chad was parked.
Correct.
And she had objection, asked to have the letter put in, have it reviewed again, just to make sure. And as you just heard, we are standing by the original plan. All right. Anybody has any questions though? Otherwise, we're just gonna move on. All right, Public Works, authorizing Kunkel to start field work and construction plans for Waterloo Road.
This was also discussed at Public Works this evening. They want to get started with the field work like we typically do.
Yep.
We have asked Medina if they're interested in doing their portion too. It sounds like they were, but we haven't gotten a commitment, so we're only authorizing the portion that's town and the city of Waterloo, because we do have permission from the town, and they said it would cost sharing the both construction and engineering for that. So I'll move to approve authorizing Kunkel Engineering Group to start the field work and reconstruction drawings for Waterloo Road.
Austin Cool, second.
Motion by Wyatt, second by Austin, to approve the field work for the plans for Waterloo Road. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, new business, just a couple of things here, good news. So, as you probably knew, Everett, we approved him to go out after a grant to work on a community downtown development plan. I had met with one of the managers of the grant. She's actually a mayor from Beaver Dam that came in, gave her a quick little tour of everything. These guys filled out all the paperwork. They were thrilled, and lo and behold, we got 100% of the grant.
Excellent.
Yes, so that is fantastic news. Plus, we already have $5,000 from Avistar, and I know Everett's still working with other members to try and get things going for the downtown redevelopment. He's got dates lined up as well. October 17th and November 14th, there's a steering committee, select people put together, start having conversations. Their initial kickoff was on Wiener and Kraut Day. So CDA, I'm sure you'll be getting a lot more information on that. So that is good news. And then the fire department also received a flex grant to the tune of $74,880, which, from what I understand with a lot of emails, we asked for $175 for a
Correct.
chassis. Didn't get that
So-
full amount.
It was for, the 175 was for actually re-chassing the 2015 ambulance.
Right.
We were awarded pretty much the chassis amount, for the most part. Again, nobody knows 100% what a chassis costs. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So with that, I meant, the reasoning for the 2015 is the steering on it. We've had it checked repeatedly. We've had the tires checked. Nobody can really figure out exactly what is going on with it. At some point in time, I will get everything in writing, so we do have everything, the reasoning for it. But it's starting to become an unsafe vehicle,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So that is our main concern, especially for the citizens that we are transporting to the hospital and our crew. The other part is, if we would get this re-chassis, we would actually go to the same chassis model that we would go with the new one. And so familiarity with both units, and we would actually have more drivers, because they would feel more comfortable driving that pickup chassis than a big semi-chassis. So that would help us out, having more members actually driving the units. And then with this, getting it re-chassied, we can actually push that out another 20 years with a new truck, is our goal. I mean, things do happen with chassis, but the box itself is sound, where we should be able to hold it for another 20 years.
So 2015 clearly warranty, long gone,
Long gone.
long gone, so there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
My only comment that I'm gonna make is this is the first time we've heard about that.
Correct. So the one downfall with this grant is, I was.
Well, not only just the grant, just the.
The whole thing, I know.
About the
So-
ambulance, that just threw us all for a loop.
Correct.
What the hell?
So the one thing with the grant itself, I was notified 4 days it had to be completed. It's like, okay.
And according to the date on here, you were late.
So realistically, I thought, I'm like, okay, I put it by real quick, so
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna get it. I should have actually brought it up to you guys, or the department should have.
Right.
And then when we were awarded, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't addressed, but yet, so unfortunately, yes, it is addressed. I do have to finalize the budget part of it by the 10th.
Okay. Because on here, obviously, it says that we have to use it by the.
We have to use it by September of '23.
December 23rd,
Define use it.
2022. It's this
Define
year.
use it.
Use the money. We have to,
So you're gonna have to purchase a chassis
Correct.
by
I read
then.
that wrong.
correct.
Do you have to have it by
No,
then?
I know that's one thing that's kind of, if we have, what I was told is as soon as we get the VIN number and the purchase order, then it's ours. I mean, they can't do anything different. They can't sell it or what.
So I misspoke. Where does it, because I'm sorry, I was reading the documents that we got awarding the grant. Where's the expiration of it that we have to have it by?
I can find it, But it's in paperwork. I didn't know what Wes sent you. I wasn't able to send any emails out to you.
Yeah, it was the application and then the one that you're trying to send, another one apparently. He said, acceptance and revised budget, so that must be what you're trying to get more money?
No, it's just what,
Clarifying.
Clarifying it? Okay.
so we have to try to get a quote as close as possible. They understand that it might flux,
Okay.
but we have to try to get it as close as possible. So that's the revised budget that the EMS is, state of EMS is looking for.
Okay, and it's not a matching grant?
No,
Money's money? All right,
yeah, that's,
okay.
but, so.
It wasn't it just wasn't for the whole, obviously.
Right.
Okay, so what happens, okay, how much is a chassis?
The chassis,
You're lucky if this is gonna cover a chassis.
I was told on the high end, what we went over, I went over with Kaiser and Madison, 73,600.
So when you did the 175, that's to like throw in some
Just a cab chassis,
installation.
no box.
Yeah,
one-
but
the
I'm seeing
100
F-150s,
No,
The 100 is actually for actually taking the box off. That's for the labor,
Yes.
getting all the rewiring done. That's that part of it.
so even if you have a chassis now, it's not gonna be a done deal, because you don't have the money for
Correct,
the rest
but,
of it.
so there is other options out there.
Okay.
If we do, or if we are allowed to do the rechassing, the Freightliner chassis, we would sell, which I haven't got any numbers back from that, what we could possibly get out of it. That's not obviously a guarantee when you're trying to sell something, if everybody knows. But that money can go towards the 100,000 for the re-chassis. And then, there's other options that we can try to fundraising, and then other options that
What's
we
the
can.
Freightliner that you can?
That's the 2015.
So the
that's-
old one, the bad one, you can actually sell it?
Yes,
We could take
It's
the
a
chassis
commercial
out and sell it.
Oh.
It's a
okay.
commercial
It just
chassis that
doesn't
someone
work for
could
our needs
use
in
it for
the,
something
so it's not like it's bad, it just doesn't work for our needs within the.
the safety of it is,
Okay,
yes.
all right, interesting, okay. Okay.
concern I have is you're gonna be down an ambulance throughout this process, correct?
I'm also, whoever's gonna be doing, so again, I will research who can all do the remotes, get some quotes. I'm hoping that there's a possibility of a rental.
Okay.
Not saying that there's gonna be, because everybody's short on ambulances right now.
Understood.
Yeah, and I was told roughly about 3 months, depending on what happens.
Of downtime,
Yes,
okay.
for that one ambulance.
Sure, right, yep, understood.
But we also have the option of assistance from other communities too, right? Whatever that's called.
Mutual aid.
Mutual aid.
Oh, mutual aid, yes, yes.
Yeah.
That we will always have.
Yeah.
So the biggest part is the chassis, that 74,000, we have to use that by September of '23.
It is, okay, that's the date.
So I meant, we do have a little bit more time for the re-chassis, but again, with the unsafer, the driving part of it, it does kind of cause conflict with that part, so.
Understood.
So how big is the new chassis?
What's that?
How big is the new chassis?
It's the Ford 550. So the box that we have currently on the 2015 is pretty much the same box that we are currently looking at.
Your confidence with the compatibility of the existing box on the new chassis?
I've talked to 2 different companies. They've said they have done it prior because the issues with the mid-size trucks like the Freightliner and the Kenworths and stuff like that, so.
Just
They will.
designed with that.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, anybody else have any other questions? Ron can get a little technical in details, I'm sure this is right up your alley, chassis and, you know, what they're talking about.
We made it big enough and heavy enough so they'd last.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it's gonna have to come back, so.
Right, so this is really just an update, we're not approving anything,
Right.
simply because we don't really have a whole lot to approve, the grant started, we just need more information, work together, budget
Correct.
the whole bit.
So so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna revise because I have to have that done by the 10th.
Okay,
So that's just stating that we will be working on this, on my part, through the state.
okay. October 10th.
Correct.
All right, well, if there's any way we can assist you with anything, let us know, we are here to help.
Sounds good.
All right, so it was an update for us, all right, thank you. So it's still good news though.
It is.
All right. Future agenda items and announcements, anybody have anything? I'm just gonna let you know, Waterloo is on the news, we were the first thing at 6 o'clock. I missed it because I was here, but I was in it. So news was here to interview 3 different people regarding the accident that happened downtown, which was an accident, it was unfortunate. Fortunately, he is fine. But the direction I took the interview is to discuss the poor design of that 4-way intersection. And they specifically asked what I wanted done. I want DOT here. We've been talking lights for how long? How many committees has the light been on? And we get no attention. And even though Mr. Hartwig has some unique videos, he's not completely irrelevant with his purpose of showing the bad design. So hopefully something good will come out of this, or we'll just continue to be ignored. So there you go. Have a good night.
Oh,
Motion to adjourn.
cool, motion to adjourn.
Tim already beat you. Want a second at that?
Second.
All right, then. Motion by Thomas, second by Fuller. All in favor? We're done. Have a good night. Now I go shoot food. Now I go eat it. Now I go home and see Mitch.
You go be my husband. You keep it on stage.
Have you guys, one of the things